Hi, everybody. Jen here, Positive Plus Dog Training. I am here with a little message for you all. So, what we're going to do is we're going to spend the next few weeks together accomplishing different goals with our dogs, training goals, and teaching our dogs some skills along the way, and taking this time to set ourselves up for success when we're ready to go back for school. So, and ready to go back to school, ready to go back to work, and ready to go back to our everyday lives. So, in the time being, we can talk about different issues that might come up, different concerns that we might be having about our dogs. And one of the first things that has come up that I've had questions about, and that makes a lot of sense to me with what we're going through, is separation anxiety. I've had the question, is my dog going to be able to adjust to our schedule again when we go back to work? And the answer to that is some might be able to ease right back into the old schedule quite comfortably and easily, but many may not. They are adjusting to a new everyday, a new routine, which for the most of us means staying home every day, being with our families every day, being with our dogs every day, in and out, and getting used to that new schedule for 2 to 3 weeks, possibly more, but even just 2 to 3 weeks creates a new reality for your dog, creates a new routine. And so when we all of a sudden go back to work and go back to school and our regular lives, that can be very disrupting for our dogs and cause a lot of stress. And so it is important that while we have fun and we have some fun training and work towards all the different goals that we have, it's important that we also set our dogs up for success for when we do go back to our regular routine. And what this means is that we do want to remember to leave our dogs alone for little short periods of time as we did before. And while that might mean that we're not necessarily leaving the house, or maybe we're not leaving our property, it might mean that we're leaving the room. It might mean that we are leaving the house, going into the backyard, or going for a little walk around the block with just our family and not our dogs for something different. And that might be what we do. It might mean that when we are ready to go for that grocery shop, that instead of going for that grocery shop and maybe having our dog in the car, or maybe walking to the grocery and having one person going in, maybe that means that we leave our dog at home. And if you're already if you already were in a good routine before this started, this should be relatively easy to do. Whether it means you leave your dog in their crate, or behind a baby gate, or just leaving them in the house, whatever your regular routine might be when you go back to work, and doing that for 5 minutes here and there, and maybe a half an hour, or maybe even an hour if you're going for a grocery shop or something like that. So, but the point is that we do want to make sure that we are routinely leaving our dogs alone for a little bit, with a Kong or with something to entertain them, and something that tastes yummy is most preferable. Um, I will give out a video that talks a little bit more about dog emotions, that will help you to understand a little bit more what's happening with your dog when they're being left alone and when our routines change. But for now, the most important thing, and the most important message for me to get across, is that we do need to leave our dogs alone for short periods of time. Ideally, if we can, every day. And that's why even 5 minutes in their crate, if they're used to crate time when you're at work, 5 minutes in their crate while you while everyone leaves and goes to a different room, or it might be a 20-minute walk that you guys are going for around the block without your dog. A little play in the backyard without your dog, or like I said, a longer outing might be when you go for that grocery shop, or to the pharmacy, or whatever it is that you need to be doing. So that is my first message about separation anxiety, and I think a really good idea for all of us, because it's not just the dogs that are already experiencing separation anxiety that need help. It'll be all of our dogs that need a little bit of help to make sure that they can ease back into their schedule, their everyday regular schedule from before. So what we'll do is on a weekly basis, we'll have one little tip, one little guidance to follow for preventing separation anxiety in the course of the week. So we'll have one thing a week that we can work on together. And the first thing that I'm going to suggest that you work on this week is short, 5 to maybe 15 or 20 minutes where you're leaving your dog in their crate or in a room behind a baby gate or whatever their regular routine is in the house for those 15 minutes or so with a Kong. Maybe setting them up with a Find It game if you've been following the other classes that we've had, but definitely with something that they can enjoy and occupy their minds with for 5 to 20 minutes, however long you're going to leave them. So that's your goal for this week, is to try to leave your dog home alone or in their crate with no one in the room for 5 to 20 minutes, something that's comfortable for them. If they're not used to long times by themselves in the crate, then start with 2 minutes, start with 1 minute. It doesn't really matter. But having them alone, separated from the family for, let's say 2 to 20 minutes, depending on your dog's schedule, what they're used to from before. And let's aim for 5 minutes this week, and we'll grow from there, and we'll add some things to the mix as well. So have fun with that. Make it playful. Like I said, everything should be playful with your dogs. So playfully set up a Find It game in their crate, or toss a Kong in their crate, and once they start to engage in the Find It game in their crate or in their Kong, then just walk out and come back later. And as long as they're calm and quiet, let them out. If they're not calm and quiet, shoot me a note so that we can talk about what's happening. But if they are calm and quiet, because this is something that they're used to from before, then you just let them out. And again, waiting till they're calm and quiet to actually engage with them and pat them and say hello and ask them how they were for those 5 minutes. Okay? So enjoy that. And again, let me know if you have questions. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.